presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
It's Military Sunday from Petco Park in San Diego. The ceremonies have concluded here on a beautiful day in San Diego. The flyover is complete. And it's game time as we welcome you inside Petco Park for Game 3 of a 3-game series between the Miami Marlins and the San Diego Padres. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always joined by Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres Baseball. Well, the Padres today trying to take 2 out of 3 and win another series. Luis Perdomo will be on the mound, and last year he had a complete game victory against these Marlins. He'd like to do it again today.
Boy, winning a series, that's got a nice ring to it. And how have the Padres won series in the past? It all hinges on the starting pitching. Luis Perdomo coming off the DL, and if he's free and easy and working down in the zone, remember the outing he had last year at Marlins Park? Complete game. He was like a little kid after that game, just smile ear to ear. The infielders were working nicely. Breaking ball, slider, two-seamer, it was all working for him. So if he can bottle that, work efficiently, and like the other starters done in this little run they've been going, strike one is always key. And Luis Perdomo, hopefully he's got strike one working this afternoon.
Well, watching Giancarlo Stanton in this series has been amazing so far, and he loves it here at Petco Park.
He can cover every quadrant of the strike zone. Series versus the Padres in the 2 games, hitting .333, but the home run is the one thing that really, really sticks out. Don, I don't think, and I've seen a lot of baseball, you have as well, I don't think I've ever seen a guy like Giancarlo Stanton hit the ball so consistently hard. And playing against guys like Darryl Strawberry, George Foster, Andre Dawson, this guy is head and shoulders above those guys, consistently pounding the baseball. It's quite a treat to see.
Well, the Padres are trying to finish the homestand on a good note and win the series. The first will send it down to field level, and Michelle Margot.
Thanks, Don. Well, the Marlins infield is known for their incredible defense, and that was sure on display last night when Eric Ibar hit this line drive and Martin Prado caught it quite well. And now a huge part of their good defense is due to their first base and infield coach, Perry Hill. Here's what Marlins manager Don Mattingly had to say.
Perry's is the best, simply to me, the best infield guy I've been around. And can't say I've been around a ton of them, but as far as teaching infield play and the way he works with our guys, he's a tremendous teacher, and it's fun actually to watch him coach, and he's really good at it.
Now, Prado told me when he first worked with Perry Hill, he was frustrated because he kept making him take ground ball after ground ball. He said, I've taken 1,000 ground balls, but now he realizes how important repetition is. Don, back to you.
All right, Michelle, thanks very much. As the Padres and Marlins about ready to get started, as the military has taken the field, and the Padres will be taking the field along with them here as we get ready for the finale of this 3-game series. Spectacular weather here today, nothing but blue skies above, and another good crowd expected here this afternoon. The crowds have been great here during the homestand, and so has been the weather. The homestand coming to an end today, and the Padres will head out after the game to Phoenix and get ready for 4-game series with the Diamondbacks, and then it is to San Francisco to take on the Giants as part of this next road trip. And the Padres looking to finish off strong here today after what has been a very good homestand.
And you know what, Don? You and I were talking about it. Yesterday's loss, it kind of ate at me a little bit.
Yeah.
And it ate at the Padres as well because they were in a position to win a ball game. Some good defense got them. They threw the ball away, which helped the Marlins. But I tell you what, coming to the clubhouse today, guys are loose. They're ready to take the series. Hey, yesterday's loss is a loss, right? Let's win it today, win the series, and then hit the road.
Let's check out the weather today, and it is very nice, and it is always brought to you by the always sunny San Diego Honda dealers. 68 degrees, southwest breeze at 8 miles per hour in the forecast fair for the remainder of the day, and more sunshine expected as the Padres take the field. It's time now for our USAA Take the Field with representatives from the U.S. Air Force and the California Air National Guard.
Hey, sweet-looking unis all the way around. The Padres, but of course the Air Force uniforms, nice and pressed and very nice. Getting some selfies. It's a thrill for everybody on that field.
Now as we get ready for baseball, the Friars ready for baseball, no doubt about that. Let's check out the visiting Miami Marlins starting 9 today. It looks similar to what we've seen in the series for Don Mattingly to this point. Dee Gordon going to be leading it off again. He's at second base. Great game yesterday from Martin Prado. He is at third base. Christian Yelich in center field with Giancarlo Stanton in right. Marcelo Zuna in left field with JT Realmuto doing the catching. Justin Bour is at first base. Danny Echeverria is at shortstop. And Tom Kohler, the pitcher, batting out of the number 9 spot for the Marlins. On the mound today, Luis Perdomo, fresh off the DL for the Padres.
Welcome back, Luis, the 23-year-old making his second start. No limitations. They will monitor his pitch count. Hey, if he's up in the zone, he's getting knocked around, well, they'll make an adjustment. Don't overthrow in like all the other starting pitchers because they've had success. Strike one. I know it sounds redundant and it sounds cliche, but it's so important today for Perdomo to go strike one.
Let's check out the defense behind Perdomo, brought to you by Lincoln. Left to right across the outfield, a little different. Alan Cordoba getting the start in left field. Manuel Margot in center. Hunter Renfroe in right. Luis Sardinia is at third base today with Eric Ibar at short. Jan Hervis Solarte at second. Will Myers at first. And Luis Torrens getting the start, making his second start in the big leagues today. Well, Dee Gordon about to lead it off here for the Marlins. Gordon has led off all 3 games of this weekend series. They are in at the corners, and the first pitch of the ball game swung on and lifted to center field. Margot going back onto the warning track to make the catch in front of the wall. Boy, that ball carried. It went a long way to center field and took Margot, who was on the shallow side, all the way back to the dirt of the track. So Gordon, who does have good power, flies out to deep center field to get it started today.
Manuel got back there quickly as well.
Yes, he
had
did.
a good beat on it. It was directly over his head. One of the tougher balls for any outfielder to adjust to. He made it look easy.
One down brings up Martin Prado. What a game he had, both offensively and defensively in last night's game. Saved the game really for the Marlins at third base on a great catch. Great reaction play.
How frustrating was that? Both plays, to his left and to his right, game savers.
Yeah, Padres did have their chances late in the game, which made it very frustrating here last night. Chance to take the first 2 games of the series and to get their first 4-game winning streak since 2015. A chance to start a new one here today, and still a chance to win the series against the Marlins. Prado waves at that, and Perdomo strikes him out. 2 down here in the first inning. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
No free runs. Padres gave the Marlins some free runs late last night. They bust out the shillelaghs, for the love of Pete. Wake up that bat rack. Nothing like a hot shillelagh. Go to hacking early. Crooked numbers. What else cliche can I throw out there?
Until I met you, I never knew how to spell shillelagh.
It's really quite easy.
It looks harder than
2 L's and E and an
yeah.
A at the end.
Umpiring crew's got Emil behind the plate. Quinn Walcott at first base, Scott Berry at second, and Bill Miller took a foul tip off the knee last night. Is at third base. 2 down here in the first.
We saw our first uno dos adios to Prado from Perdomo. 3 pitches, he gone.
Perdomo had 3 strikeouts in his first outing and 5 in a third innings. Dealing with Christian Yelich with 2 down here in the first inning. 257, 4 homers, and 12 runs batted in. His 18th game of the year. And a ground ball back up the middle into right center field for a base hit. Yelich will hang on with a 2-out single. First base runner of the day is Christian Yelich.
Big kid, big wingspan. He can cover off the plate. He's quick enough to get the pitches in off the plate. Just an all-around. In fact, we're looking at a couple right now. Will Myers and Christian Yelich. 2 young players with promising careers at the big league level, that's for sure.
So 2 away, and here is Giancarlo Stanton. 7 home runs now. 14 runs batted in the first 17 games of the year. Perdomo from the stretch for the first time. And a grounder through that bare handout. Hits the bag, and Solarte stays with it and is able to throw out Stanton at first base. Well, hit the bag, it can go anywhere, and a nice adjustment by Solarte as it changes direction off the bag. Makes the play on the high hop. Padres coming up in the bottom of the first inning. Andy Green and his Padres lineup brought to you by Toyota. As Manuel Margot leading it off and in center field. Eric Ibar at shortstop batting second. Will Myers at first base with Yangervis Solarte at second. Hunter Renfroe in right field. Luis Sardinia is getting a start at third base. Alan Cordoba in left field. Luis Torrens bats eighth and does the catching. And Luis Perdomo batting out of the 9th spot. Tom Kohler on the mound for the Marlins.
It's his 4th start for the right-hander. Pretty much throws everything, but he's kind of four-seam heavy and curveball. Mixing the two-seamer slider and changeup. Trouble with the curveball. So that might be a pitch that the Padre hitters eliminate if they see it. And he's given up 4 home runs in the last 2 starts.
Now Margot leading it off here in the first inning, trying to set the table, and he'll take strike one. Kohler's 4th start of the year. As Don Mattingly said last night, pretty much everybody in the rotation's had one bad one so far. And Margot starts off with a base hit the other way, and a good start for the Padres here in the bottom of the first inning. Let's check out the Marlins defensively today. Left to right in the outfield, Marcell Ozuna, Christian Yelich, and Giancarlo Stanton. Third to first, it is Martin Prado, Adeiny Echeverria, D. Gordon, and Justin Bour, with JT Realmuto doing the catching for Tom Kohler. So Margot aboard here in the first inning, and Mattingly's Miami Marlins come in at 9-8, 3 games back of the Nationals in the early going in the National League East.
See what kind of leg kick is used by Kohler. See if the Padres maybe take advantage of stealing some bases.
There's a big lead over there initially for Margot.
I thought he balked on that. It looked like he buckled his back leg before he stepped off. Or maybe it was his front leg, but anyway, no call from the umpires.
On the ground, softly hit to first as Bour will touch first, and that's all he'll get. Taking second is Margot. Well, as it turned out, Perdomo on the way by got a finger on that ball going back up the middle that Solarte made the play on, and hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, this always scares me because you can clip a fingernail, you can break a digit. That ball definitely changed direction. And then the ball hits the bag, and a great reaction by Yangervis Solarte to get the runner at first base, and the nice pick by Wil Myers. That's great reaction time there.
Margot at second base, 1 down, and here is Wil Myers sitting at 360 to start the day. Long look by Kohler a couple times out there at Margot. Myers Myers with 4 homers and 11 runs batted in to go along with that hefty batting average.
Will be interesting to see how Kohler pitches to Will Myers. That first pitch slider off the plate. First base is open.
Myers with 9 multi-hit games, tied for the most in Major League Baseball. And he takes the strike right at the knees. He's had his 11-game hitting streak come to an end on Friday night. Couple hits here last night, going 2 for 5. Padres dropping last night's game in 11 innings. Strike 2. Myers may have been looking for something else. Instead, get the 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
A lot of the times when he has 2 strikes, Kohler, he will go with the 4-seam fastball. You know, this is his 4th start, as we mentioned. He's got a 1.6 whip, more than 1.5 base runners per inning. That's walks and hits combined per inning pitched.
Evans at 2-2 here to Myers. With Yangervis Solarte waiting on deck. Padres batting in the bottom of the first. Kohler looking for his first win of the year, coming in at 0-1. ERA up over 5. Myers chases after that and strikes out. Second out here of the first inning. To the breaking ball to get him. Well, frustrating loss last night for the Padres and kind of an ugly ending as it turned out on this swinging bunt. As Torres fires it down the line into the right field corner. And 2 runs would score as G. Gordon would come all the way around on it after Bohr had already scored. A miscue leading to 2 runs for the Marlins, who would add 2 more and take a 6-2 lead into the bottom of the 11th inning. Padres did get a run back, but came up short. Did have the tying run at the plate.
That's when he probably just should have stuck in his back pocket.
Margot at second with 2 down here in the first inning. Solarte has been very good in this category. 9 RBIs with runners in scoring position and has a total of 11 on the season, batting out of the cleanup spot for San Diego. And he sends this towards right center field. That is going to get in for a hit. Here comes Margot. He'll score a run, and the Padres will take a 1-0 lead.
Well, going into the 4th start for Kohler, lefties hitting 400 this year. Righties 194. Looks like he's got a good feel for the breaking ball. This looks like a slider or a hanging curveball, but not the big break like a curveball. He leaves it up, and Yangervis fights that one off for the RBI single.
So a 2-out RBI. I just told you how good he is with runners in scoring position. He gets it done again and delivers the Padres' first run of the day. Now it's Hunter Renfroe take a pitch away for ball 1. Renfroe batting out of the 5 spot. Grounds it softly towards Prado at third base. He'll go to second on the force out that concludes the first inning. But the Padres strike first, take a 1-0 lead as Yangervis Solarte with a base hit to right center field scores Manuel Margot, and it's 1-0 Padres. As we move along to the second inning, good start for the Padres. Scoring first, the Padres are 7-6 so far on the season, and they have scored first here today. Leading it off for the Marlins is Marcell Ozuna, one of these power-hitting outfielders that the Marlins possess. It could be the best power-hitting outfield in Major League Baseball.
Here, here.
Ozuna will foul it off towards the end of the dugout.
And that's what will happen when Perdomo's on. With that sinker, looks like Ozuna got it off the foot or the toe. Call a tow truck. He is hobbling.
Or to get that protective guard on top of the spikes there already.
That's got to be even more frustrating when you have that guard and it misses the guard.
It gets your foot anyway.
Yeah.
Need a bigger guard, something that covers everything.
Yeah. Go up there in a suit of armor.
I would.
I mean, still, you get a ball off the bat and you hit the top of your foot, even with that, it's going to hurt.
Perdomo working with a lead here in the second inning. He's in his first outing of the year against the Giants. Ended up with a no decision. 5 1/3, 7 hits, 5 runs. Walked a batter, struck out 3 through 85 pitches.
Well, he's getting through the baseball nicely. That's a good sign for Luis Perdomo. Good two-seam action. Really playing him to pull Ozuna on the infield. Ozuna, that is. Got these cats over here protecting that left side.
Perdomo has not started since the 12th of April. Of course, had the right shoulder inflammation as he walks Ozuna here, headed down to first base. And I guess as far as having that kind of time off, how do you think that'll affect him heading into this outing today?
Well, one thing's for sure, and he did have an extended bullpen through on the side to make sure, full adrenaline going, air it out before he steps out here. But there's nothing like stepping out on the field during game day. That adrenaline will just go to a new level. So he as a pitcher, you test it in that bullpen before you take it a step further, which is in a game.
Ozuna with the lead at first and a pitch in tight to Real Muto.
And they'll keep an eye on the location of the pitches and the velocity of his pitches.
Muto starting the year at .351, the everyday catcher for the Marlins, and he does catch every day, catching the day game after the night game, and pops this one up on the infield. From short comes Ibar for out number 1 of the second inning. So one down. Ozuna remains at first base, and that'll bring up Justin Bour. Bour's come off the bench. He has made 2 starts now in the series and off the bench in last night's game. Sat safely in the last 5 games.
This kid looks like he should be chopping down trees.
A lumberjack?
Well, yeah, no batting gloves. He's a big kid. He just grips it and rips it. I can just picture him in a flannel shirt with an axe, right?
Yeah, I can see that very easily.
A Paul Bunyan type.
Now so far 2 home runs for Bour. And he'll take the strike. Almost fastball today, right where it normally is, 95 miles an hour.
I did not read in the media guide where Bour has a pet ox named Blue.
It would be in there if he did, I'm
Yeah.
sure. One of the personal miscellaneous, generally where you find that.
But good, double play candidate. I mean, a big swing. You get a guy swinging out of his shoes on a 2-seamer with some action. You beat it into the ground. They're playing him to pull. They got the shift on. They work for a grounder, get 2.
Fouling it the other way into the seats off to the left.
Out.
Bour is from Washington, D.C. His Major League debut in 2014 at Tampa Bay. On his 4th season with the Miami Marlins. One out, one on for the Marlins here in the 2nd inning. On the ground into the shift, and it's going to be Cordoba or Sardinez to second for one. Back to first, not in time. Sardinez on the right side of the infield as part of the shift, and they tried to turn the double play. They do get Ozuna at second base on the force out. Coming in hard was Ozuna at second base.
That's why you get those feet up off the ground. Get those spikes off the ground. If a runner slides into you and your feet are anchored, that's how you break an ankle, you blow out a knee. Good clean slide, right?
Appeared to be. Like Ibar was in the air trying to avoid it.
Straight into the bag.
So 2 down, Board first base, short lead, and a grounder foul off the bat of Adeiny Echeverria. And some very nice defensive plays coming into the game last night. Started game 1 of the series. Starting game 3 of the series. 160 average. 8th game for Echeverria. An oblique strain that had him on the DL to begin the year. Appeared in a couple of rehab games. Single A Jupiter.
You remember Prado was on the DL, Echeverria, as you mentioned, and it was the first game of the series where they were at full strength.
First time they had their entire lineup together again. Ball and 2 strikes to Echeverria.
Sometimes I call it a breaking ball. It's not really a true slider and it's not really a true curveball, because sometimes Luis Perdomo will wrap it to where it becomes a bigger break.
Fouled off to the right, out of play.
Here's what I mean about Perdomo. On the slider, a true slider, a pitcher will get on it and go this way to get that rotation that way. Sometimes without knowing it, but he'll kind of wrap it a little bit this way, comes out where it's a bigger break. So the shorter slider here, sometimes a pitcher will just wrap it a little bit. It'll create a bigger break.
Here's a base hit into center field. Ward takes second on the single by Echeverria, who's down on the count 1-2 before that base hit to center. That was the second hit of the day for the Marlins. So that's how he holds it when he's doing his bigger break?
Yes, and the thing is, it's not like he really knows that he's going to wrap it to make it bigger or to make it shorter like a slider. It's just like hit or miss. So once again, just a little refresher course. You know, the slider, the true slider, is a pitcher working through the baseball like that. All right, that's a slider. A curveball is like that. So sometimes he gets caught in between where he wants to be a slider, but he'll just wrap it a little bit. The ball will come up this way, and then it will create the bigger break.
Strike call to Tom Kohler, the pitcher. 1 for 4 so far at the plate for the pitcher, and in his 6th major league season. Average under 100 at 0.92.
That was 96, that last pitch.
Hardest he's thrown today. Kohler down 0-2. Luis went 5 1/3 in his first outing. That was against the San Francisco Giants. Inflammation in the shoulder had him on the DL. A 10-day DL, and now active in pitching today and trying to keep this great run of starting pitching going for the Padres. It has been a tremendous run last time through the rotation. Kohler takes strike 3, and Perdomo out of the jam as the Marlins strand a pair. Inning and a half done from Petco Park in San Diego. 1-0 Padres. Strikeout number 2 for Luis Perdomo.
help build a program. And we say, why not us? We attract the right kind of players, and we continue to work as hard as we do on the floor. That's the ultimate goal, is to reach a Final Four here at San Diego State.
For more on the new regime at SDSU, check out this week's Inside San Diego Sports, Tuesday after Padres Live, right here on Fox Sports San Diego. Love Coach Fisher. Coach Dutcher now taking over.
I was going to ask you about that. I have not had the chance to be around him over the years.
It's what a treat. Just a class guy, Midwestern guy from Central, Southern Illinois, Coach Fisher. And I mean, we all know the story when he was at Michigan, taking over for Frieder, Bill Frieder, and winning the national championship, and then on his way here at San Diego State. A great leader of young men who's going to be missed.
Just had the chance to meet him once here doing the outdoor game.
Yes.
Not this offseason, but the offseason before at Petco Park. Luis Sardinez, Alan Cordoba, and Luis Torrens at bat here in the bottom of the second inning. Tom Kohler back on the hill. He struck out to end things offensively for the Marlins in the second inning, and we'll have 2 men on. A little different looking lineup today for Andy Green on this Sunday day game.
How about hitters 6, 7, and 8 for the Padres? Sardinez, Cordoba, Torrens. 23 years old, 21 years old, 20 years old. Hey, got to get him at bats.
Yeah, need to keep him involved. Sardinez with the Padres last year and the Mariners. Seeing big league time in 2 locations. This year was vying for a spot at shortstop. Ended up being a utility guy, but made the team. Opening day roster, and takes a hack at the 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Today getting the start at third base and giving at least the beginning of the game off for Ryan Schimpf. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Got away from Real Muto, so he's got to clear the runner and fire to first base for out number 1. Second strikeout for Tom Kohler of the day. So 1 out. Alan Cordoba coming up. Cordoba getting the start in left field. 300 average, home run, and an RBI. His first major league home run. As you're mentioning the ages of these 3 guys, became the youngest Padre to homer since Roberto Alomar did in 1988.
He was a pretty good player, by the way.
They turned out to be very good. And for Cordoba, his home run was a pinch hit home run.
You ever been to Johnson City, Tennessee?
I have not.
That's where he was last year. Now he's in the big leagues.
Have you been to Johnson City?
I have not. But
No.
my point is,
It's far from San Diego.
I don't think the sliders bite like they do
No.
in Johnson City, and the fastballs quite as crisp with good location as they are here in the big leagues. 3 years in the lowest rung of professional baseball before going to Johnson City last year for Alan Cordoba. Now he's in a big league Padre uniform.
Full count. Miller has struck out 2, has not walked anybody yet. Dealing with the Padres here in the second inning. Fourth start of the year for the right-handed starter. And a line drive base hit into left field for Cordoba. That's got to feel good doing it here at his home ballpark. A 1-out base hit, 3rd hit of the day for the Padres.
7th knock of the season. It's a hanging slider. 3-2. Kohler elects to go breaking ball with the count being full. And right into the swing path of Cordoba. Did not open too soon. A nice compact swing. And a big league knock.
1 out, 1 on, and Luis Torrens coming up here.
He's the baby of the group. Only 20.
1 for 5 so far. Very, very limited playing time. Second start for Torrens. Padres started the year with 4 catchers on their team. If you count Bethancourt, it was a lot of different things. He was born May 2nd, 1996, Luis Torrens.
He'll be 21 on May 2nd. Wow. I think I've got dress shirts older than him.
You probably do. High strike call.
Looked like Kohler may have gotten a call on that last one. But as a youngster, you can't gripe. Ooh, off the plate. The Nissan Fox tracks indicating that.
Torrens waves at that pitch, headed away, and now down 1-2. You talk about being far from the major leagues. Last year he was in Staten Island in the New York Penn League and Charleston in A-ball. Throw to first, and back to the bag is Cordoba.
2015, Torrens had a surgery, torn labrum. That could be tough.
That's the entire 2015 season. Strike 3 call.
Oh, really?
And none of them appear to be strikes.
Talk about taking the bat right out of the kid's hands. It's a tough AB. Two-seamer off the plate. Hey, just so it goes both ways.
2 down here in the second. Cordoba at first base. And the pitcher, Luis Perdomo, about to bat. Perdomo had 2 at-bats in his first outing against the Giants, and 0 for 2 on the year. 125 hitter in his second major league season.
The pitch was on the corner all right. The corner of 16th Imperial.
So you do mix it up. Because last year it was 10th and J, I think.
That's if it's on this side of the plate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. First base corner of the plate,
I got
16th and Imperial.
Yeah.
Third base side, 8th and K.
Okay. I'm starting to follow your smack. It's taking some time, but I'm getting it.
So if you're a pitcher, you just keep going back out there. And I'm sure Torrens will go back to the dugout and say, hey, where are those pitches? And Luis Perdomo will start to peck away and try to get those calls as well.
If you're Torrens, who is doing the catching, you're going to be like,
yeah,
where is that now if it doesn't happen? On the ground, and Prado picks the half hop at third, sets himself and fires across for the out that ends the inning. Done with 2 from San Diego, 1-0 Padres.
Lead 1-0 here in top of the third. I'm standing by with Major General Randall Ogden. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you are the commander of 4th Air Force. Can you tell us a little bit about your role?
4th Air Force is an organization that has 20 different units throughout the United States, but provides strategic airlift and refueling, and with over 30,000 members.
Wow. Well, what do you think of what the Padres do for the military here on Military Sundays?
Oh, this is one of the most incredible events I've seen. One of the most beautiful parks, the Padre ownership, great support. Because again, we can't do what we do without great communities supporting it. And San Diego and the Padre organization do it better than anyone else.
What did it mean to you to be a part of the pregame ceremonies today?
It meant a lot to have these young men and women willing to sacrifice and serve their country, and again, being able to do it here in Petco Stadium. It's a memory I won't forget, and I'm sure they won't forget either.
Well, thank you so much. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, Michelle, thanks very much. And it is so special here, and Padres do it better than anywhere else in Major League Baseball.
They started it, and other organizations had followed suit.
Every Sunday home game here at Petco Park in San Diego. D. Gordon leading it off here in the third, and grounds one foul outside of first. Gordon hit a ball to the warning track in center field his first time up. A happy youngster down there getting a souvenir.
Looks like the ball will travel this afternoon, Donald.
Yes. The ball he hit, I didn't think had a chance. All of a sudden, Margot was back against the wall in center field. Now he hits a ground ball at Solarte. One down. You're doing yourself a favor. You can keep D. Gordon off the base paths, and they have 4-3 on the putout.
Hey, use the grass. That's an expression Darren Balsley, the pitching coach for the Padres, likes to use. Guys that are sinker ballers: Clayton Richard, Luis Perdomo, Trevor Cahill. I always try to go to him each and every day. Hey, any pitching nuggets today? And he'll say, use the grass. I like it. Working down to the zone.
One down here in the third inning. Martin Prado, a strikeout victim in the first. Two strikeouts on the day for Perdomo. I'd say he's averaged about 95 miles an hour on the fastball.
Free and easy.
Look out, watch your face. Prado ducking out of the way, almost ducked into it.
Sometimes for Perdomo, that front shoulder will fly open a little bit and the arm drags and you don't get out in front enough, and it will leak up and in on the arm side.
Hey, gets that one to drop in. 2-2.
That's making an adjustment.
Outfield playing for Prado to go the other way. He grounds one down the third baseline instead, and Sardinez makes the good throw across. Two ground ball outs here for Perdomo in the third inning, and the two away.
Hey, if you're looking to host a party or a company outing, what a better place than Petco Park, USA Today's #1 ballpark in America, rated by them. We got it right here in San Diego. There are a variety of spaces available to fit your needs for groups up to 10 or maybe up to 300. Check out Padres.com/groups for more information.
Two down here in the third inning, and Christian Yelich getting his second look at Perdomo today. Most home runs in the outfield. Marlins with 17 between their trifecta of home run hitting outfielders, and they got lots of power between Ozuna, Yelich, and Stanton especially. Well, last year the Padres had one complete game thrown by a pitcher. There's a guy that's on the mound today, Luis Perdomo, and it was against this team. On August the 28th at Miami. 9 innings, 1 run ball, allowing 6 hits, 3 walks, struck out 3, and 3-1 victory. And also induced 5 double plays. A pretty good pitch, didn't get it, and it's 3-1. One of the best outings we saw all of last year for the Padres.
That was fun, wasn't it?
It was. Against a pretty good hitting Marlins team. Well, he's going to walk. Yellow cheer with 2 down. Second walk allowed by Perdomo. Well, Giancarlo Stanton coming up. He's got 3 home runs in the series, and they have been blasts. Rockets out of here.
That's the one that really impresses me. Opposite field, it got out of here in a heartbeat. And we know he's got pull power. He's got power at all fields. You know, the pull ones are always mammoth shots.
This one's the one that got me. Just a bullet to left field.
You know what that swing is like on the driving range when you really try to come out of your shoes and that front side opens up and you don't know where it's going to go. And he just drops the head of that driver and just lets it fly.
That had the look of going through the bricks of the Western Metal Supply Company.
You know what? It's getting to the point where we see these line shot home runs to like left field. The fans are going to need like riot gear out there. You know those plastic shields you can see through? Somebody's going to get hurt.
Popped up foul ground. Myers going as far as he can, but he won't have a play. Well, it's time now for the Arco top tier player profile. And Giancarlo Stanton, Major League leaders since 2010. Multi-career, multi-home run games. And of course, 2 here last night. Now 20 since 2010.
Don, you and I have seen all those players hit home runs, right?
Yes.
No one even compares to the ball off the bat, crushing like Giancarlo Stanton. Not even close.
The exit velocity is like no other. Throw to first, and he was leaning. It appeared the other way. Didn't react right away. And Yelich able to get back to the bag. What do you think of Perdomo's move?
It can get better.
Yeah.
I think he's fairly quick, but that's something that pitchers should work on very frequently because you can always better your move. Quick feet. Ooh, talk about opening up big time. You can always work on quick feet and shortening up your throw to first base, throwing like a dart, as this is the breaking ball down and away. Front side really opening up big time. I say stay right back out there.
Evens up at 2-2 as he did stay out there a little too far outside. And a slider again back to back here to Giancarlo Stanton.
Let's see what Luis Torrens is thinking here. Fastball in, slider.
3rd in a row.
Yep, down and away.
And Stanton went around. He strikes out. Rung up by the home plate umpire. Paul Emmel couldn't hold up. 3rd strikeout for Perdomo. 1-0 Padres. Presented by USAA. And a beautiful military Sunday it is here in San Diego. Padres have a 1-0 advantage. And they're coming to bat here in the last of the third inning. Will be the top of the Padres order. Manuel Margot, Eric Ibar, Will Myers. Anybody gets on, and Hervis Solarte will have a chance. Margot with a single to right field in the first inning. Came around to score the game's lone run. Kohler settling in, 3 strikeouts through the first 2 innings. Last 5 games hitting at .400. Manuel really likes hitting here at Petco Park as he sends one back up the middle into center field, a base hit, and Margot is aboard again, this time to start the third. Really setting the table well as the Padres' everyday leadoff man.
Go Margot, swinging the hot shillelagh this afternoon. Oh, the high leg kick, the foot is planted. Now drive that bat through the zone. Eyes are down, barrel follows through, and using the big part. Hey, you know, we talk about gap to gap line drives. Well, you hit the ball 2 hopper, 1 hopper through the middle. That's the big part of the field as well. Looking very comfortable up at the plate.
So second time in 3 innings the Padres have had the lead runner on. He takes off. Ibar takes a pitch outside, and at second base, caught stealing is Manuel Margot. Echeverria slaps on the tag. Real Muto guns him down at second.
Pretty good throw. It was a decent jump. Is that a pitch out? Oh, you know what? Does Echeverria get his glove on the left? Oh, he might have gotten him on.
Let's see what the Padres want to do here. They do want a challenge. Andy Green has given the indication Padres will challenge the play at second base.
Does he pull back his left hand and then go in with the right? No, both hands are in. Very tough because he get blocked by Echeverria's left leg. He might have got him on the left forearm, right?
It's a little harder now on managers and the people who are reviewing the video for each team because you have 30 seconds now. There is a time limit where there was not in the past. And we would see a long time sometimes before they would decide whether or not they would challenge it. That's one of the kind of new wrinkles in the rules this year.
I think in all the clubhouses, every team, on every, like fans and like us, we can anticipate a close play. I mean, they are on the horn. They're getting ready.
He is out. They lose their challenge. Not overturned.
So they're anticipating probably down there underneath when they're watching the game to quickly get a replay or whatever they can so they can make that decision quickly if they want to challenge or not.
So the Padres have lost their challenge here in the third inning with 1 out. Eric Ibar grounded out to first base in the first inning. Swung it away, pops it up left side of the infield. High skies. We'll see. It's a shortstop, Echeverria, who makes the play. And Prado never saw it. Third baseman had his arms in the air. Ended up not being close to him, as it turned out, lucky for the Marlins. Two down, and that'll take us to Will Myers coming up with the bases empty. Myers struck out swinging in the first. 1 of 3 strikeouts for Tom Kohler. To left, Ozuna goes back and makes the catch shy of the track to end the inning. It's a 5-pitch inning. It's a 1-0 Padres lead. Since Padres baseball, brought to you by USAA, proudly serving the needs of the military community for over 90 years. By Jack in the Box, try the Double Jack combo for just $4.99 only at Jack in the Box. And by Sequan Casino, play, win together in the heart of San Diego. No mistaking Military Sunday in San Diego and at Petco Park. It's 1-0 Padres. As we get ready for the top of the fourth, Tony Gwynn Jr. along with us. And the Padres here trying to win another series. As Ozuna with a big swing and a miss. And that's really what they're trying to do here is win series. And they've done a pretty good job of doing that.
It's the name of the game. You know, and they've gotten some really good pitching that's put them in position to win some of these series. So Perdomo's off to a really good start after being on the DL. And he's got to continue to keep pounding the strike zone as he has.
Stuff's moving all over the place.
It is. It is.
That at-bat against Giancarlo Stanton when he struck him out with that slider. The previous pitch when he had him really opening up and then he just brought it out there a little farther for the swing and miss. Very impressive.
And that's the thing. The better that slider gets already with the sinker movement he has and the location, he's only going to get better.
Just his second start of the year, a DL stint mixed in between.
There it is.
Wow. Lunging after that was Ozuna.
Now, this is a good question for you. Is that more of a confidence thing for him, just throwing it, having an opportunity to throw it more?
Absolutely. And you know what? He did that last one. He didn't overthrow it. Oh, my gosh.
Swing and a miss. Foul tip, and Ozuna thought it hit the ground. And he was pointing at the ground, but home umpire Paul Emmel said it did not. See what happens here. It is a strikeout as of right now. Fourth strikeout for Perdomo. We'll get a look. No, he made the catch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes for a hitter, that's just wishful thinking right there. We want to really believe it hit the ground so we can get another pitch.
But no, Tony, getting back to your question, you can see the confidence of Perdomo on that slider. He's not guiding it. He's throwing it. He's getting it out there nicely.
Real Muto swinging to the first pitch out to right center field. Renfroe and Margot, and Renfroe will step in front of Margot.
Now, you guys mentioned winning series, and I think one of the great quotes of all time, and I'm going back here. Remember Casey Stengel, the old professor? He had a great quote. He said, "The Yankees don't pay me to win every game. They pay me to win 2 out of 3." Right? You win
so
2 out of
true.
3 the whole year. Guess what?
You're going to have a really good
You're going to
record.
have a really good year.
Yeah.
2 down here in the fourth inning. It brings up Justin Bour. Padres going into a shift for Andy Green here on the right side. They bring Luis Sardinez from third base to the right side of the infield. It has been impressive watching the power of this Marlins outfield as a group collectively.
Yeah, they've been extremely impressive. In particular, Stanton. I think the Padres pitching staff has done a good job of keeping Ozuna and Yelich in check. I mean, coming into the day, Yelich was 0 for 9 with 3 punch-outs. And that's a big reason why they've been in all these games for the most part. Yesterday got away from them late, but really done a good job keeping those guys in check. If Stanton's hitting solo home runs, I think you're in good shape.
Yeah,
You got to stay away from the 3-run shots.
Right.
Yelich getting on a couple times today, a single and a walk to this point. 2-2. He is grounded foul outside of first. And we'll do it again. Slider's been very good today for Perdomo. All of it's been pretty good.
And as I mentioned earlier, coming off the DL, he's getting on top of the baseball. He's getting through the baseball. He's getting good bite. That means he's getting good rotation. Oh, the pause.
Well, swing and a miss seemed to fool Bour. Picks up his 5th K as Perdomo is a 1-2-3 4th inning. Justin Bour down by way of the K. Padres on top 1-0 after 3.5. Shade focuses on Martin Prado, has been very impressive.
He was a game saver last night. Look, he's going to get beamed up to the Enterprise, but before that, he's going to make one heck of a play. The aliens are trying to get him, but he's going to stay and make the play. Diving to his right, that was the game saver. He made a play to his left as well. And this was on the short hop diving. Beam me up, Scotty. No, I think I'll stay here and prevent the Padres from winning the game with my defense. That was impressive.
That was a more impressive play too, I thought, because that ball's behind him when he actually gloves it.
Yangervis Solarte leading it off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. That was all part of the frustration last night for the Padres. Prado certainly a big part of that, saving the game for the Marlins, giving them the opportunity to win as they did. Solarte, Renfroe, and Sardinha here in the inning.
You know what's impressed me, guys, about successful big leaguers is that if you're struggling, especially offensively, when guys don't take it out to the field with them, I mean, that's the one thing. You got to be tough mentally. And Tony, you've been in that position before where things really aren't going your way.
Yeah, I've been in that position. I was in that position quite often. And look, I thought defensively that was my outlet. You know, I could impact the game and maybe help my team some way doing something defensively. Because, you know, sometimes offensive, like you said, you go through these little ruts where you're just not hitting the ball the way you need to be.
You know, it's amazing. We saw Austin Hedges this year, who struggled to begin the year for his first 24, and he was terrific behind the plate the entire time.
Yeah, and he's dealing with a veteran staff too, where
absolutely,
you know, they don't want to be up there shaking heads too much, shaking off signs. So he recognizes the importance of the defensive side for him, and that's rare for a young guy to really understand how important it is for him to put the right fingers down, keep his pitchers calm. Yeah. Catchers, there's so much more responsibility than any other position out there.
In the meantime, on fire at the plate now too. And some home runs, some big home runs. Up to Renfroe. Grounded into a fielder's choice first time up. Batting with Solarte at first. It's a high fly ball to center field. Yelich going back onto the dirt of the track at the wall. It's gone. Carries right out of here. Hunter Renfroe to straightaway center field. 4th home run of the year for Renfroe and a 3-0 Padres lead. The way Yelich was kind of wandering back and gliding, it looked like he might have a chance, but it just kept going to straightaway center. And the Padres have a 3-0 lead on the home run by Hunter Renfroe.
Just a nice swing right there. Dead center. I mean, you don't see too many balls go dead center here in Petco.
Well, Kohler fell behind 1-0. That's one heck of a swing.
See his lower half and his hands sync up together. With a guy that strong, you usually get good results when you put the ball in the barrel like that.
Now liner to right off the bat of Sardinha, but Stanton there to make the catch on the sinking liner for the first out here of the 4th inning.
How about the Mississippi State Bulldog going El Centro? Look at the shoulders on the kid. That's some kind of strong.
Some would say corn-fed. Big boy.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I called that. Remember when I said pick the stick?
I didn't really listen to while you were talking.
Well, shocker. Something's never changed.
What did you say?
I mean,
I said Hunter Renfroe was going to hit a home run today.
I don't think many people want to listen to you right now when it comes to picking stick, man.
Yeah, that was good.
You've been struggling a little bit, bro.
Big time. I know. I need to pick up my game. Thanks, Hunter.
Would 0 be the Mendoza line in this game? Like, is he trying to stay above it?
I think like 10 is the Mendoza line in this game. He's well below it. One down here in the 4th inning. Alan Cordoba getting his second look at Tom Kohler. Cordoba single to left field in the second. One of now 5 hits for the Padres in the game. Walk got this all started for Yangervis Solarte. Renfroe with a 2-run home run. Sardinez lines out to right, so 1 down in the inning. Cordoba kind of a late swing, fouls it off to the right.
You know, the home run, the last 2 starts has been the kryptonite for Kohler. 4 home runs his last 2 starts. Chalk on another one off the bat of Hunter Renfroe.
Full count now. Patience here for Cordoba. Hunter Renfroe with his 4th home run of the year. RBI 7 and 8 on the season.
It's got to feel good for him. Get one of those.
Cordoba grounds this past Kohler, but coming from short is Echeverria with a play. Nice rangy play from Echeverria, off balance. Around the bag at second, 2 down.
Wrong place to hit it. Yeah, just got a hanging breaking ball. And look, you see a lot of times you see guys swing and miss through those. And I think to a man in the Padres lineup, when they're getting mistake pitches, they're capitalizing on them. They're really a lot of times hitting them out of the ballpark, which is something that is vital for these guys as they keep trying to finding their way at the plate.
Every time I talk to Alan Zinter about hitting, and this club in particular, that's one thing he always mentions. We need to get to that point where if we get a mistake, we need to crush it, like you said, Tony, and that was a prime example.
I mean, for a lot of these guys, especially in our lineup, they're still trying to figure out what kind of hitters they're going to be at the big league level. So when you do get that cookie in the middle of the plate,
you just sounded like your dad right there.
You gotta take advantage of it, because you're not going to get those very often.
Oh, that's so awesome. You get yourself a cookie. Chicken wing it the other way.
There's no chicken winging going on in that one.
Oh, that's great. And your dad always talking about like that front side of the elbow coming up. He would call it the old chicken wing.
Yes.
Then he'd send it the other way for a base knock.
Yeah, it's not normal for people to be able to chicken wing a ball and get hits.
Luis Torrens' second at bat of the day, struck out looking in the second. And here with 2 down, bases empty. Padres have a 3-0 advantage in the 4th inning. Just off the plate.
What was your best bolt, Tony? Can you remember?
Oof. Yeah, in Texas, off of my first one, off of Millwood. I think
nice.
that it didn't go as far as Gallows did the other day, but it was in somewhere a little short of that.
Nothing like hitting that sweet spot though out there.
There isn't. You don't even feel it.
Yeah.
And that's the feel you're searching for all the time. It's like hitting a golf ball straight for the first time. You're like, there it is.
And Torrens strikes out looking. That will end the inning. 4th strikeout for Kohler, but the damage done. Hunter Renfroe hits a 2-run shot straight away center field. And the Padres now enjoy a 3-0 lead. to the top of the 5th inning back at Petco Park in San Diego. A little sandlot action out there.
It's too sandy for me.
Too sandy at the beach.
Yeah, I'm not really a beach guy.
And you live in San Diego. Makes sense?
Yeah, don't feel bad, but I
It's
lived
too
in
sandy for me.
I lived in Pacific Beach for like 7 years, and I might have made 7 trips over to
Wow.
the beach.
Now,
My
you
kids
on
love
the-
it though.
This guy,
Love
he's
the beach.
Mr. Beachcomber.
Love the beach.
He'll wet the line every day.
Well, look where he's been for before here.
That's-
I'd want to go to the beach too all the time if I'm below freezing weather
all
the
winter.
time.
We'll be at the beach. Now the beach here at Petco Park in San Diego, and the fans enjoying a 3-0 Padres lead into the 5th inning. It is Adeiny Echeverria who takes strike 1. Perdomo working into the 5th inning. He's retired the last 4 batters in a row and 7 of the last 8. Echeverria left side, cut off by Sardinez. Nice play. Throw a little bit to the outfield side, but Myers kept the foot on the bag for the first out of the inning.
I was just going to say, this is such an important inning for Perdomo. 8-9-1. Makes short work of Echeverria. You got the pitcher coming up, and I would think you want to face D. Gordon with nobody on base. So he's off to a good start right here in this 5th inning.
This Tom Kohler struck out looking in the 2nd inning. 1 of 5 Ks on the day for Perdomo.
There's been a lot of good things to look at. If you're a baseball fan in this series, you've seen Stanton's power. You've seen some good pitching from both teams, really. The play Echeverria made yesterday,
Oh my gosh,
that was unbelievable.
sure was. Hey, another positive for the Padres, Manuel Margot in the leadoff spot. I mean, he's looking very comfortable there.
He's starting to make his adjustments now. It seemed like, you know, the book is starting to get out. The more at bats you get, he started to struggle a little bit, and now he's kind of making his adjustments. You've seen him really start to hit balls the other side.
Softly hit Ibar racing in. He got Kohler running, so that helps. And that is out number 2 of the inning. Softly hit. Perdomo couldn't grab it, and Ibar charging in to take care of that. 6 in a row now retired by Perdomo. A little help from his friends. Top of the order, D. Gordon. And yeah, Mud, you got him coming up here with the base is empty. 0-for-2 in this one. He's flat out to the warning track in center. Swinging at the first pitch he saw in the 1st inning, and then grounding out to second base.
Man, 96. He's running it up there.
Yep. We've seen a 97 today, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, you know, that brings up a topic of conversation. Probably carried over to the next inning as well. I wish baseball would go back to the old ray gun.
I heard you say that the other day.
I want to
yes.
know what around the plate what the action is. I don't care what it is out of the pitcher's hand. For me, that's an ooh and ah type thing for the board. I want to know at the hitting area, like in the old days when I was in high school, scouts had the ray gun. It read the baseball here at home plate, not out of the hand of the pitcher.
That makes sense. I mean,
it makes perfect sense.
That's what the hitter is hitting. He's not hitting the ball out of the pitcher's hand. That's great that they have the velocity for what it is out of the hand, but it definitely should be what the velocity is around the plate too.
So if there's a 97 out of the hand of Perdomo, really at home plate, it's like 92.
Right.
Because there's roll down. As soon as that ball leaves the hand, it
You lose a
decelerates.
lot,
It's
yes.
physics. It just happens. Yeah, me talking physics, right?
In the air to shallow left as Cordoba comes in and makes the catch. It ends the inning. Luis Perdomo with a 1-2-3 fifth. Halfway through, Mud's talking physics. 3-0 Padres. Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile on the Washington Nationals 6-game win streak, and they're outscoring their opponent 33-15. Oakland A's a bit of a surprise, 5-game winning streak. They're outscoring their opponent 29-13 in the American League West for the Oakland Athletics. And the A's off to a good start. Padres off to a good start as we head here to the home half of the 5th inning. And Luis Perdomo just enjoyed a 1-2-3 fifth. So it's 70 pitches through the first 5 innings and at the plate for the second time today.
You know, back to your radar gun conversation, I didn't realize that the gun, it changed it that long ago.
I'd have to do some research on that, but I remember when they started posting radar readings on the scoreboards for the fans. I'm not sure if that was the Jugs gun or if that was the ray gun that they used to have back in the day. But if you're a baseball fan, and I know a lot of people watching are, and you have Netflix, watch the documentary Fastball. It does an in-depth look at velocities through the history of the game.
So Aroldis Chapman, for instance.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I mean, so you're saying it's coming out of his hand at that. That's not
Coming out of his
necessarily.
hand, like you faced him, Tony.
I think I have the highest.
105, right?
Yeah.
So at the plate, he's still high 90s probably. When the ball would reach the plate, probably like 97, 98. That's still bringing it.
Perdomo strikes out here, 5 Ks for Kohler. Okay. So now, I'm a scout on behind home plate, Major League Stadium, which a lot of them do. Which one are they holding on to?
They're probably holding the gun that reads out of the hand.
So jug guns have always read out of the hand.
No, I think the Jugs gun back in the day was around the plate.
Was around the plate. Okay.
Or no, the Ray gun was. The Jugs gun is out of the hand.
I'm confused.
The Ray is around the plate.
Okay. Okay.
Out of the hand is the Jugs gun.
Physics with Mark Grant. That was my favorite. That's a first. We've talked about a lot of stuff together here in the last year plus. Physics.
Watch the documentary Fastball.
I've seen it. One out here in the 5th. Margot 2 for 2 in the game, and he'll foul it back. 2-1. A single in the first inning, scored a run. Singled in the 3rd. Scott trying to steal second base in the 3rd inning.
He's really made some nice adjustments this homestand. Swinging the bat. Starting to see him just use the whole field again. I feel like the last 4 or 5 hits he has have been to the right field, whereas it seemed like at the beginning he was working left center, left field.
.66 pitches right now for Kohler, working to his second hitter of the 5th inning. Able to run in the first, 2 in the 4th. Payoff pitch. And that's ball 4. Margot is on for the 3rd time today. Second walk allowed by Kohler. Well, the day after the Padres score 5 or more runs, get 50% off any regular menu price online order at papajohns.com. Enter promo code Padres5.
Oh, Mud is having a day right now. Pick the stick. He's pumped up.
Well, Donnie's doing his dance over there because Margot just got him a point.
Doing the Donnie dance today. Eric Ibar 0 for 2. It's grounded out to first, popped out to short. Strike call.
So, Don, how many points do you have today?
By my count, I think I have 4. Because you get credit for a run, right?
Yeah.
Margot scored a run after he singled, and a single in the 3rd, a walk here. So I think I got 4. Do you get negative points for caught stealing?
No.
Okay. I'm still learning the rules of
double
this
plays
game.
and errors.
Okay.
Hitting into double plays.
And strikeouts.
Correct.
So heading on the road to Arizona, you might actually be positive. Above 0.
And you can take that to the bank.
Yeah. Little bloop to right, incoming. Stanton will not get there. Throw to second base on a force-out bid. Couldn't get there, but Echeverria goes diving in the air to grab it. Stanton almost made that catch. But it's a base hit for Ibar.
Tony, I'm sure you've been in this situation many times, but when you're a runner on first base, this in-betweener, you got to make a decision. What do?
You try to get as much as you can without committing too far, because if he's able to dive and make this play, you want to be able to get back. It's really a tough read for the runner. Let's see what Margot does.
Yeah, as Don mentioned, that ball hit the ground. It's a force play, so you get to second base.
I think he read it right.
Yep.
2 on, 1 away, and Will Myers coming up. Chance here to open things up.
That's not as difficult of a read if it's center field or left field, but with you being on first base and it being the right field, which is the closest outfield position, it's a much tougher read. I thought he did a good job right there.
Will today has struck out, lined out, 0 for 2.
Well, these are the situations, right, gentlemen, where you want a guy like Will Myers being the guy to put you way ahead.
This is why it's important to have guys, that 1 and 2 guy in front of them getting on base. Will, I think, is the best hitter in this lineup on a nightly basis. You want to give him as many opportunities to drive in runs as you possibly can.
Strike called. Myers didn't think so, and it evens at 1 and 1.
Kind of a weird strike zone this afternoon.
Paul Emmel, the crew chief, calling the balls and strikes today. Pickoff play at second, and back to the bag is Margot. Or the runner at second, they're doing kind of touch signs here. Is that for location, the catcher? Or is it for pitch selection?
Location. Could be a sign to the middle infielders too as well. Could be a decoy. Number of things. Because then remember he gave a series of signs with his fingers.
Strike called, and it's 1 and 2.
Yeah, the moment a pitcher starts to feel, or catcher in that case, starts to feel like there may be signs relayed, or they want to make 100% sure that nobody's getting signs, you'll see a lot of times go to touches on the chest to go along with the fingers.
It could be mask, fastball, chest protector, curveball, knee, slider, and then go to the signs. It could be the last sign touched, and then go to the fingers, and then that would be the pitch. It could be a number of different things.
2 and 2.
I remember Griffin Benedict's dad, Bruce Benedict, caught Gaylord Perry, and he said he would do the old add and subtract depending on how many outs there were, and you have to be a mathematician behind the plate. He would wipe with his glove, meaning add, subtract 1 or 2, and then it's like, oh my gosh, all bets are off.
Gosh, I played with somebody like that. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Myers spraying it foul off to the right.
I think it was Jeff Suppan.
Really?
Jeff Suppan. Yeah, he would wipe, and it'd be, however many wipes you add, that many wipes, it would go to that sign.
Jeff Suppan, a California guy, Southern Cal.
Former Padre, too.
Yep.
2 and 2, the count to Will Myers. On the ground to third base. Prado picks it to second for 1, on to first for 2. Double play turned by the Marlins. We played 5. It's 3-0 San Diego. the 6th inning we go. Luis Perdomo back out there for the 6th inning. He has dominated the Marlins over the course of his very brief career, but some very good numbers. 2-0, 2.40 ERA, and another good day today, blanking them through the first 5.
Yeah, I think most teams will take that from their starting pitcher, no matter what the team is they're facing.
And you know, it's amazing, guys, that through the course of a guy's career, let's say you pitch 10, 12, 13 years, there's always that one team that you just dominate, no matter how good or bad they are. But then there's always that burr in the saddle. It could be the worst team ever, but you just can't seem to beat them.
I think everybody has it, even as individual players. I think hitters have that same. It's like a team. Doesn't matter who's pitching. If they put on that uniform, you're going to have a good day, and vice versa.
I think it was Tom Glavine who really had a tough time beating the Marlins. He just could not win against the Marlins.
Is there a team you struggled against that you look at that logo now and it brings back memories of perhaps not having much success against them? Whoever was pitching in that uniform?
The Nationals.
The Nationals. This one is into center field. Off the bat of Martin Prado. Continues to do it offensively and defensively. And a base hit to begin things in the 6th inning.
The Giants was another one that comes to mind, too. Running out there and facing Lincecum at the time, Sanchez at the time, Matt Cain at the time. And they always seem to run into those three like all the time.
Christian Yelich has been on base twice today, a single and a walk.
He's got Yelich talking to himself.
Yeah, when you're 1 for 10 in the series, that'll get you talking to yourself real quick. You know, Darren Balsley is really, really good at preparing for hitters. If he finds a hole on you, you are going to have a tough series. So one thing I really enjoyed about being around him, having the conversations with him, once he pinpoints something that you don't do well, if he can get his pitchers to execute there, you're going to have a tough series.
You've seen his reports, haven't you, Tom?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
What amazed me, and you know, I haven't been around him very long, but just how he approaches these series. And we went into Colorado and how well the Padres pitched at Coors Field. He had a plan for everybody, and that included a very quiet series from Nolan Arenado.
Yep.
Carrying over from last year because Arenado had a real rough time against his Padres staff.
Balsley studies these hitters. Like, if you don't make the adjustment as the hitter after facing a ball club that he's a pitching coach on, he's just going to keep attacking it until you do. And it seems like for Yelich in this series, we've seen a lot of sliders down off that back foot from righties.
Well, approaching 80 pitches, so this might be a time where, in fact, as I look up now, there is action in the Padre bullpen.
Craig Stammen warming in the pen right now for San Diego.
And, you know, after being on the DL, you start looking at pitches where they're ending up. The result, you know, the hard hit ground ball at the middle, now the walk, raises a little concern.
Yeah.
There is Stammen, who's been warming this inning, and a single and a walk, and all of a sudden the Marlins have 2 on, nobody out.
And you know what I kind of like about this situation? This is kind of like a learn. I know he learned a lot last year, Perdomo, but no visit from the pitching coach, nobody out, and you're pitching against one of the better hitters, power guys in all of baseball. Hey, let's see what you can do after your visit with your catcher.
Carlos Stanton, OPS at Petco Park, all-time, only behind Lance Berkman.
Some pretty good players on that list right there.
down to one knee. He swung so hard right there.
Good slider down the way, well located.
Tying run at the plate. Guy you would rather not see at the plate as the tying run. Inside, the fastball kind of running in.
Elbow kind of dipping a little bit and not getting the release point. It's just a little bit. That's the difference there. Now let's see if he makes an adjustment going down and away.
Is that a sign of him laboring perhaps at this point, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. The adrenaline pumping. See, even though he missed the ball there, that's an adjustment.
That is.
He's fallen behind. 3-1. Good hitters count for a very good hitter.
I throw him
really
another slider
got to be careful right here.
I throw him another slider here. Slider for a strike, outer half.
Shook off a couple signs from Luis Torrens. Stanton to center field. Margot coming in. That's going to fall for a hit. Around from second comes Prado. Throw goes to the shortstop where it is cut off, keeping the double play in order. But a run in for the Marlins on the RBI single by Giancarlo Stanton. And it's now 3-1 Padres. And the Marlins are on the board.
Looked like it was a heater, Tony.
Yeah,
Two-seamer.
A sinker that just doesn't quite get in enough on him. Supposed to be away, and it actually got all the way back to the inside corner. And there was some good base running there by the Marlins. I mean, that's a good example of knowing where your outfielders are before the pitch starts. Prado didn't even turn around to see if there was going to be a play on that ball.
That is the day for Perdomo. 83 pitches, 3-1 lead. Now, after departing here after 5+ innings, 83 pitches, 49 for his strikes. Look at his line, but it is not complete yet. Responsible for Yelich at third, Stanton at first. And he leaves with a 3-1 advantage, looking for help from the bullpen as the Padres go to the bullpen. And this pitching change is brought to you by El Cajon Ford. Craig Stammen into the game.
Well, it's been a while since Craig has been out there on the hill. It was Tuesday against, I take that back, it was the 18th against the Diamondbacks. The beauty about Craig Stammen is they can give you multiple innings. He's got the sinker, he can work a grounder. Try to get a double play here.
Another power hitting outfielder for the Marlins, Marcell Ozuna. Walk and a strikeout, 2 plate appearances for Ozuna. Nice running and scoring position average this season. We're behind Chris Owings in that category. And the new national, Matt Wieters, running behind him, the former Oriole catcher. Ball and a strike now to Ozuna.
It's definitely a skill, being able to hit with runners in scoring position. Not everybody can do it. It takes a certain mindset. It takes an understanding of oneself, knowing what they can do with certain pitches. And I think that's why you see a lot of guys, generally the guys who drive in runs, you see their names at the top year in and year out.
Seems like RBIs is a stat that is not valued as much as it once was. I still think it's extremely important.
It's under attack. That's for sure. But it should be valued. I think, like I said, there's just not a lot of guys who are good in this position, not putting too much pressure on themselves.
That's one thing I've always tried to put myself in the shoes of a hitter in a situation. All the pressure's on the pitcher.
Right.
I mean, bases loaded, first and third, whatever, nobody out. I mean, Craig Stammen's got some work to do. And it is a mindset.
Let me ask you a question. When you face guys who are legitimate RBI guys, isn't that generally when the majority of the mistakes happen is because you're trying to be so careful with those guys? That doesn't happen with guys like me.
On the ground, under the glove of Myers at first base, into right field. Yelich will score. Heading to third is Stanton, and into second, Ozuna gets into scoring position.
That was a really nice throw by Renfroe right there. Just couldn't hang on it. Ibar couldn't hang on to the ball, it looked like.
Well, it's a one-run game now, and 2 in scoring position for the Marlins.
Kind of tough to tell with the infield dirt there from that high home. Did the ball come up on him a little bit, or? But like you said, Tony, great throw. Man,
I can't tell if Ozuna's slide knocked it out or if he mishandled it, but either way, it was a terrific throw.
It is a double and an RBI for Marcell Ozuna, second and third. Nobody out, and JT Realmuto the batter. Marlins putting together some runs here in the 6th inning. This will get away from Torrens, but no advance. Quickly coming back to Torrens, who got back to the screen quickly. No chance for Stanton to try it from third.
fastball. Just off the tip of the glove.
Certainly looked like he went, though, if that's the case.
Luis Perdomo still responsible for the runner at third, and Stanton has been charged with 2 runs so far. Realmuto into left field, a base hit. From third comes Stanton. Ozuna will be stopped at third, and this game is tied 3-3. 4th hit of the inning, 3rd run scored for the Marlins, and they have come back to tie it up.
Well, anytime there is a sinker baller out there, want a ground ball, and Tony, you can elaborate on this. The main thing, you want to try to get a pitch up. If you get one up, that ball was hit very sharply to left field.
Yeah,
just above the kneecaps.
Looks like he didn't get it down enough. Realmuto took a really good swing and barreled it up through that 5.5 hole.
So 1st and 3rd now, still nobody out, and Justin Bour the batter. His 3rd plate appearance, grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out. All started with a single by Martin Prado. Walk for Yelich, single by Stanton that chased Perdomo from the game. Ozuna double to drive in a run. Realmuto with a single to drive in a run. Looked like he went around. They'll check. No, says Bill Miller. So the Padres' 3-0 lead has been erased here in the 6th inning. Now trying to minimize the damage. Marlins looking for their first lead of the game. Two-0 pitch to Bohr. And a swing and a miss. Good pitch headed down. Bohr up over the top of it. Fastball that time from Stammen.
Two-seamer that's bounced in there and is swinging at it. Maybe getting a little froggy there. Trying to drive in that run.
2-0 count. Does happen to hitters sometimes. They know it's a fastball count. Kind of a predetermined swing. If it's in the right spot, I'm going to hit it far.
Echeverria waiting on deck here for the Marlins. Still nobody out. This Miami 6th inning. In the air to deep right field. Bohr gets a hold of this and takes it out of the yard. A 3-run home run that gives the Marlins a 6-3 lead in what has been a 6-run 6th inning to this point, and there's still nobody out. And again, it's the home run ball getting it done for the Marlins.
Problem you have when you fall behind, you generally have to try to make pitches, and slider that doesn't get down enough, it kind of hangs in the middle of the plate, and Bohr hits it a long way for a 3-run homer.
Well, the Marlins came into this inning trailing 3-0. They now lead it 6-3. Still nobody out. And Andy Green to make a pitching change here for the Padres, now dealing with a 3-run deficit.
TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go, presented by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Download the app and take Padres baseball wherever you go.
Well, it's been a tough 6th inning here for the Padres. The Marlins have exploded for 6 runs and still nobody out in the top of the 6th inning. Kevin Quackenbush into his 3rd game, all out of the pen and in relief. Danny Echeverria takes the curveball for strike 1. Echeverria singled and grounded out to 3rd. Quackenbush trying to quiet this Marlins offense that has come alive here in the 6th inning. 3 runs charged to Perdomo, 3 runs charged to Stammen.
Well, Kevin Quackenbush has to be the tourniquet here. Come in here and stop the bleeding. Keep it at 6.
There's still no outs, too, right now, so he's got to work through this inning. Try to keep it close.
Quack pitched an inning last night. He had the curveball working, guys. 2 strikeouts. Snapdragon was really working well.
Perdomo ends up with a no decision. 5+ innings, giving up the 3 runs. Craig Stammen now on the hook. Not recorded out, gave up 3 hits and 3 runs. The 3-run home run to Justin Bour that has given the Marlins the lead. Center field, and Margot will make the catch for the first out of the inning. So Echeverria is retired, 1 down, and we'll bring up the pitcher's spot. And it is Tom Kohler coming up. It's at 75 pitches through the first 5 innings. He's got a lead and staying in the game here, hitting for himself. 0 for 2 from the number 9 spot. A strikeout and a ground out. His offense has helped him out. Kohler on the pitching side, giving up an RBI single to Solarte in the first, 2-run home run by Hunter Renfroe in the 4th. Curveball in there again, still working it. 1-2.
I would say kind of drier today during the day games, so sometimes pitchers have a difficulty sometimes getting that grip on a breaking ball. That wasn't a good one, that last one, though. And Kevin lives around 90, 91 on the fastball. We just saw a 91 there.
Strike 3, got him looking. Second time Kohler's down by way of the K. 2 down in the 6th inning. 6th strikeout for Padres pitching today.
As you mentioned, Mud, curveballs looked pretty good his last 2 outings. That was a dandy of a one right there.
You throw that early for strikes, and then he throws the fastball that's up in the zone sometimes, and with good spin rate. A lot of swings and misses.
D. Gordon 0 for 3 in the game. Has flied out to center, grounded out to second, flied out to left. On the ground right side, Solarte will throw out Dean. Now Quackenbush gets out of any further trouble. It's 6-3 Marlins.
Petco Park for a ball game. Padres trail 6-3 heading into bottom of the 6th. Make sure you tune in to Padres POV presented by Nissan after Padres Live, the post-game show today. We highlight a couple things, do some yoga with hitting coach Alan Zinter and Tony Gwynn Jr. How appropriate that you're in the booth right now, because we also highlight your mom's new gospel album. How cool is that?
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. You know, for his son, you know, it was a little weird for me, I'm not going to lie. But I only know my mom being my mom, but it makes her happy. So, you know, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I really am.
that's great.
She's doing a really, really good job.
We'll look forward to that, as it'll be airing after the ball game today. And good luck to your mom. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it is.
Here's Solarte leading it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Padres have work to do, as the Marlins scored 6 times in the top half of this inning. Now Solarte, Renfroe, and Sardinez to face Kohler, who's got a newfound 3-run lead. Center field, Yelich headed back to make the catch. The first time they've been able to find a way to retire Solarte today.
Was it me, guys, or did Yelich kind of break in on that at first and then galloped towards the gap out a little bit, just making up some dirt? I mean, you see those long strides on that kid?
He gets going. When you watch him from the side, when you have the opportunity to watch him from the side run down the line, his strides eat up so much space. Mm-hmm. And that's how you can maybe take a step in and still be able to recover. But not everybody has those galloping strides that he has.
Easier or more difficult moving from left to center?
Easier.
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 Better look?
Yes. I think what makes things so hard in left is that you really don't, especially with right-handers, you don't get a chance to see the ball a lot of times until it's coming off the bat. You really have to learn how to track the ball out of the pitcher's hand into the zone.
How much time in BP did you spend out there, Tony, reading balls off the bats to get a decent look?
A lot, especially when I moved from center to left. It was such a big adjustment for me that was how I had to really learn. Wow.
The ball bounced and hit the bat.
Yeah.
Nice game of cricket going on.
That's strike 3 to Renfroe. That's 6 strikeouts now for Kohler. 2 down here in the 6th inning. Newfound confidence here for Kohler right now, the lead and throwing strikes. 2 down.
You know, that's really the only time you get a chance to work on it too as an outfielder, when you're making that move from center to left or wherever you're going in the outfield. Live balls off the bat in BP is really the only chance you get to work, and it's actually more difficult because you got the shell over. You don't get the good visual that you get during the game.
Luis Sardinez batting with 2 down in the inning. Base is empty for the Padres. Kohler trying to have that shutdown inning after his team just collected 6 runs and gave him a lead.
But what do you, going back to Renfroe's foul ball right there, when a ball bounces that far out in front of the plate and you get a check swing, as a pitcher, what are you thinking?
To me, he's guessing. I mean, he's guessing right as soon as that ball's leaving the hand. He's got in his mind he's going to swing.
It's a predetermined swing, right?
I think so. What do you think?
That's what I was thinking. Like, I mean, for a ball to bounce that far out
like
in
a
front of the plate,
55-footer, yeah.
You had to have already had in your mind, I'm hacking right here.
Mm-hmm. I've played with guys who've done that. They've been in the dugout leading off an inning. They say, you know what? No matter what the pitch is, guys, I'm swinging at the first pitch. And here it is. It bounces, hits the bat, foul ball. Now, if that ball's in play, that's a fair ball.
Yeah. I've seen some guys actually hit. I remember Brad Ausmus hit a ball off the bounce like that in Detroit for a double.
I've seen Ichiro do it. Strike 3 will get away from the catcher Realmuto briefly, and he throws out Sardinez to end the inning. Our thanks to Tony Gwynn Jr. Great job again.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, fellas.
And he sends this towards right center field. That is going to get in for a hit. Here comes Margot. He'll score a run, and the Padres will take a 1-0 lead. It's a high fly ball to center field. Yelich going back onto the dirt of the track at the wall. It's gone. Carries right out of here. Hunter Renfroe to straightaway center field. 4th home run of the year for Renfroe, and a 3-0 Padres lead. Miami 6th inning. In the air to deep right field. Bourg gets a hold of this and takes it out of the yard. A 3-run home run that gives the Marlins a 6-3 lead in what has been a 6-run 6th inning to this point. Well, that was our Harrah's game summary, and it was a 6-run inning as Kevin Quackenbush came in and then quieted this Marlins offense, retiring the next 3 batters he would face, and he's back out there to begin the 7th. And dealing with Martin Prado, whose single started that 6-run attack last inning for Miami. Takes the curveball for strike 2. Martin Prado has struck out, grounded out, and singled.
Well, the shutdown for the Padres was hoping when Stammen came in, right? But it didn't go well for Craig. Did not record an out, and that's where a bullpen guy has to come in. You're not using your guys like the Book or the Hands or the other guys out there that are in certain situations to shut them down.
Strike 3 call over that outside corner. Prado didn't think so, but it's been a strike today. And Prado saying some stuff to Paul Emmel on the way by, but Quackenbush gets his 2nd strikeout since coming into this game.
There are going to be days when pitchers have got it going, then there's going to be days when you don't record an out, but Kevin Quackenbush has got it going today, shutting down these Miami Marlins.
1 out in the 7th inning brings up Christian Yelich. He's been hitless in this series until today and has been on 3 times today. A single to center and 2 walks. Oh, 2. He is in the dirt, and it's 1-2. Inside, almost got him. Yelich now. At the heart of the order coming up. Yelich, Stanton, Ozuna. We get that far. Rather not have Yelich reach here in front of Stanton, and this is too short, and an off-balance throw from Ibar is not going to get there in time. Yelich on base for the 4th time today, and his 2nd hit of the day.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
1 out in the 7th. Yelich at first, and Giancarlo Stanton coming up. He was grounded out to 2nd, struck out swinging, and singled to center. Strike call. He's the first batter to reach against Kevin Quackenbush since coming into the game. He had retired the first 4 Marlins he faced.
Now remember, 12-6 breaking ball for Quackenbush. Not the same slider as Perdomo, not as hard either. But remember, down and away was getting Stanton a lot of swings and misses.
Rolls this down the 3rd base line softly. Sardinez will pick it up and not throw it. Nowhere to go, and Stanton beats it out. Yelich takes 2nd. Back-to-back hits. Neither leaving the infield.
That looked like a slider. And that's the frustrating part. You make a good pitch against a really good hitter. Yep, that's a slider. Stanton rolls over the top of it.
Two on, one out. And Marcell Ozuna now standing in on the right side. Swing and a miss. Taking a hack at that fastball from Kevin Quackenbush. Ozuna doubled his last time up to drive in a run, and he scored a run. Strike called 0-2.
If I'm a pitcher, I'm going outside today about a ball and a half.
Yeah, that's where it's been all day. Been pretty consistent in that regard, though.
Yes.
Off the outside edge. That's what Martin Prado was rung up on for the first out of the inning. Ozuna fights that off with a fastball foul. Two on, one away, and Ozuna strikes out. Quackenbush able to get him. Third strikeout for Quackenbush. Two down here in the seventh.
Kevin breaking out the slider this half inning. Down and away. Looks like a fastball. Ends up off the plate for the punchy.
Two on, two down, and JT Realmuto coming up. Realmuto has popped out to short, fly to right, single, drive in a run. Grounds it softly towards third. Sardinez comes in, makes a good throw, and gets it there in time. As the Marlins strand a pair in the inning. It's seventh inning stretch here from Petco Park in San Diego, with the Marlins on top of the Padres 6-3 on this Military Sunday. We'll keep it right here at Petco Park for the playing of God Bless America.
It's time for the seventh inning stretch. Before we sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game here on Military Sunday, please stand and welcome from the 701st Combat Operations Squadron, Staff Sergeant Dejan Verget. Please sing along as he presents God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Air Force.
Padres baseball, brought to you by USAA, official military appreciation partner of the San Diego Padres. By Petco, your complete pet store with all the services you need. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealers, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Another flyover earlier today as part of Military Sunday here at Petco Park in San Diego. Marlins have a 6-3 lead and a new pitcher. David Phelps into the game for the Marlins, coming into his 9th game of the year. 8.10 earned run average. And dealing with Alan Cordoba to begin things here in the 7th inning. Tom Kohler, the starter, went 6 innings through 87 pitches. 55 for strikes. Cordoba to right field. Stanton back shy of the track to make the catch for the first out here at the bottom of the 7th.
David Phelps on Friday, a couple innings. Got tagged a little bit. 4 runs. It's time for the Padres to fight back.
1 out in the 7th, and Luis Torrens coming up. Torrens 0 for 2 today, has struck out looking twice, and he takes strike 1 from Phelps. So Kohler today, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, walked 2, and struck out 7. Pitcher of record, a chance for his first win of the year. Torrens to right field, shallow. Out goes Gordon, in comes Stanton, and the right fielder, Stanton, takes charge. 2 down. A pitch hitter coming up here. Had the day off until now. Austin Hedges adding in the pitcher's spot for Kevin Quackenbush. And nice outing today for Quack as quiets this Marlins offense and goes 2 innings, logging some innings for the Padres.
That's what Andy Green was hoping Craig Stammen could have done, but just wasn't his day. It's going to happen. By the way, have you gotten word on why Austin Hedges comes up to Careless Whisper by George Michael?
I have not. This is fouled off down the left field line. Broke his bat.
Well, home run's been the story of Austin Hedges recently. Went down and got that one. There's a hanging cutter / slider. Went down and got that one as well.
One count to Hedges. Shadows starting to creep over here a little bit over the home plate area. Light tower shadows right now over home plate. About halfway out to the mound. Rest of the field pretty much in bright sunshine on a beautiful day here today. Padres after the game will be heading to Arizona to begin a series against the Diamondbacks coming up. And then San Francisco, part of a week-long trip for the Diamondbacks, 3 with the Giants.
So just when you got out of the desert, spring training, heading back. It's going to be like pitching in spring training again. Dry conditions.
Strike called. Hedges thought he had ball 4.
Wow.
Bad news for Paul Emmel. It's a tad high.
Yeah, that's a little high.
Fouled back, and we'll do it again. 96 from David Phelps. Swing and a miss, and Hedges strikes out to end the 7th inning. It's on to the 8th with the Marlins on top 6-3.
Giants, Gerardo Parra in the fourth inning. He'd leave the yard. The Rockies shut out the Giants today, 8-0. They get swept to San Francisco. Tony, you think the Giants are in trouble?
It's early. It's still early. It's tough to say that they're in trouble, but they don't look good right now. Obviously, with Bumgarner going down, I mean, the news just keeps getting worse. They get swept by Colorado. Not only did they get swept, they get shut out today.
One home run by their entire outfield collectively. So the Giants are in a bit of bind, and when Tony and I see on Padres Live, the post-game show brought to you by Cox Communications, we'll break down some of the highlights around baseball. Obviously going to tell you everything that happens here in the field at Petco, and you'll hear from Andy Green, plus we get you set for the road trip as the Padres will head to Arizona for 4. Don and Mark?
All right, Mike and Tony, thanks very much. As in between innings here, Andy Green was tossed from this game, arguing balls and strikes, it appeared. Got a little tired of watching the strike zone of Paul Emmel for most of the day, and frustration kind of boiled over, and he is ejected from this game. Saw a very questionable strike call to Austin Hedges, which just kind of capped it off. Which should have been ball 4, was not. Miguel Diaz into the game here for the Padres, becomes the fourth arm. And it's fouled back out of play. Takes over for Kevin Quackenbush. Did a good job of quieting the Marlins offense. 2 innings, giving up 2 hits, and this is the 8th appearance of the year for Miguel Diaz.
Pitched 2/3 of an inning last night. A hit, a run, no walks or strikeouts. I think Miguel Diaz, he's learning at the big league level, but not overthrowing. When a pitcher tries to overthrow, stuff will have a tendency to flatten out, and he's got such good movement that if a pitcher thinks maybe 85%, you're still giving a full effort, but you're not overthrowing, and you can create some movement and get a good grounder, get a good sinker or a slider whenever you throw it.
His first career major league win back on the 10th of April at Colorado against the Rockies. And the high strike call to Bohr, and Diaz with the strikeout. First batter he faces here in the 8th inning.
Well, a lot of hitters going back, shaking their heads on the strike zone, but you know it both ways, and you know what? That's right at the belt buckle. I think that's a strike.
1 down in the 8th. Danny Echeverria coming up. 1-for-3 on the day. The Marlins shortstop. Perdomo started today for the Padres. 5+, 4 hits, 3 runs. Walked 3, struck out 5. He left with a 3-1 lead. And a couple of runners on that did score as part of that 6-run inning for the Marlins. Popped up right side. Will Myers at the lip of the grass will make the catch. 2 down.
Did you see that pitch? Two-seamer in, got in the kitchen. Echeverria, Uncle Snappy in the house, breaking that bat. Nice, easy, free delivery from Diaz. Getting in his kitchen.
We're going to have a pinch hit appearance for Ichiro. And the second at bat of the series. Not started any of the games here, and this is generally the capacity that he has been used in, although he did start a game in Seattle as part of this road trip for the Marlins.
Were you here last year when his double was in the stands?
Yes.
That was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. A guy dressed exactly, he looked like him, and he was going through his motions.
Unbelievable, yeah. Wonder if he's here again. It's always amazed me that he looks like he is on the move, even though he has incredible balance and has the hands back and in a good hitting position. But it always looks like he's on the move out of that box when he makes contact. Hits it on the ground towards Solarte. And a good 1-2-3 inning for Miguel Diaz will take us to the bottom of the 8th. 6-3 Miami. of the game as Hunter Renfroe with a 2-run shot put the Padres on top 3-0. His 4th home run of the year. RBI 7 and 8. That was back in the 4th inning. Coming up here for the Padres, the top of the order for the bottom of the 8th inning. They'll be dealing with a new pitcher, Brad Ziegler, into the game. He pitched last night.
Ground ball specialist, low 3/4. Only throws about 82, 83, if that. He'll flip up a frisbee as well, that sweeping breaking ball. And he is having his ways both with lefties and righties alike.
And Will Margot to lead it off has been on 3 times in this game. A single in the 1st, single in the 3rd, a walk in the 5th.
You know, if I could go back in time and do it again towards the end of my career, I think I'd try to adjust like Ziegler's throwing. Going from down under like that.
Grounder to 3rd base as Prado with the lip of the grass throws out Margot.
You know,
Did you ever try it before?
Just messing around, but nothing really serious game situation. But my favorite story about pitchers making that adjustment, Mike Myers, remember the lefty?
Oh, absolutely.
Was in the Tigers chain. Conventional low 3/4, just fastball, breaking ball, changeup, nothing spectacular. Not really putting up good numbers, still relatively young. He was left-handed. Some guy approached him in camp one year, spring training, said, "Hey, did you ever think about going from Laredo down under?" You know who that guy was? Al Kaline. And from then on, Mike Myers went on to pitch, what, 12, 14 years in the big leagues?
A lot of different teams.
Left-handed specialist. It was very, very tough to hit.
Eric Ibar batting here with 1 down, bases empty.
But I know I'm going back, but Kent Tekulve, Dan Quisenberry, they didn't throw that hard. It was just that different look that hitters didn't see.
Less wear and tear on your arm?
Absolutely. It's more of a natural movement. I think you're always going to have stress on your elbow, but as far as the shoulder is concerned, well, it's just like bowling. You're going from down there. Not as extreme, but
on the ground, and Ziegler able to field his position. Throws out Ibar. 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Kind of finishes straight up, which helps out on a comebacker.
Doesn't throw hard, so he's really not exerting a lot of energy. So when he lets go, he is square to home plate. You're absolutely right.
2 down for Will Myers, who has had a quiet day today. Struck out swinging in the 1st, lined out to left in the 3rd, and then with 2 on and 1 away in the 5th, bounced into a 5-4-3 double play. $26,070 on hand here today. $26,70 for Military Sunday and the finale. Not only the series, but the homestand for the Padres. Myers to left. Gets himself a base hit here. Ozuna plays it on a hop. Will Myers aboard with 2 down here in the 8th inning.
Well, the objective is to get a pitch up on contact. That's just below the belt buckle. And a pitcher like Ziegler, you get that pitch up, it's not going to have that dipping effect. It's going to flatten out.
Two down, Myers at first, held on by Justin Bohr. Now Hervis Solarte grounds it foul outside of first. Solarte's been on twice today. A single out to right center field, a walk, a run scored, and has flied out to center. The RBI for him, his 12th of the year. Popped up, right side. D. Gordon steps onto the short lawn and right, still kind of drifting, will make the catch. That ends the 8th inning. We're headed for the 9th. Marlins on top 6-3. Then Justin Bohr able to open it up as he hits this home run out to right field. And for Bohr, his 3rd home run of the year, a 3-run shot. Game was tied 3-3, made it 6-3. And that's where we are heading to the 9th inning.
Justin Bohr swinging the big axe today.
D. Gordon leading it off here, top of the order. And he'll flip it down the right field line towards the right field corner. That's going to get down, and Gordon can fly. Renfroe going to dig it out. Gordon definitely thinking 3 here. And he will get there without a problem. Throw gets away, but it'll be backed up by Ibar. Gordon standing at third base. Leadoff triple to begin things here in the 9th inning off Miguel Diaz.
A first pitch slider. The defense was swung way over towards right center field. No chance. You can see how far Renfroe was. I mean, he's got to go a country mile to get that. And as you mentioned, Don, the speed of Gordon, that's an easy triple. Slider catching too much of the plate, speeding up his bat.
One for 4. Martin Prado standing in. Padres will bring that infield in. The lip of the grass all the way around here with nobody out. Prado singled in the 6th inning. He's the guy that got it all started, that 6-run 6th inning. And of course, a big night last night, not only offensively, but defensively. Kind of changed his mind in the middle with that swing.
There's a situation you mentioned, Don, the infield is in, right? You've got to work down to the zone, try to create a grounder. But with that said, a little chopper, you bring the infield in, you can have that chopper over the infielders' heads. That's just the chance you take. Wow. Did you see that pitch?
A little bit outside. Towards shortstop. Ibar will look the runner back at third and throw to first base for the first out of the inning. Infield in worked out there. Prado retired. Gordon remains at third. And Christian Yelich coming up here.
Boy, if that wasn't executed perfectly. Good pitch by Diaz. Ibar getting that baseball, freezing the runner. He was not going on contact. Third of the way home.
Good day for Christian Yelich. He's been on base 4 times, 2 hits and 2 walks. That's going 0 for 9 coming into today's action in the series. Padres had stymied him, but what a good day here in the finale of this 3-game series. And home plate right now in the shadows due to the light standard off to the left. The rest of the field here in the bright sunshine. High strike call on the changeup, 2-1.
Nice changeup, mixing it up. You just can't go a certain pattern against Yelich. He's had trouble with that slider down and in. See if it goes down and in here. He's set up away.
Reaches out and lifts it to left field. Cordoba going back towards the track. Cordoba will make the running catch on the warning track. Tagging at third and jogging home is D. Gordon with the 7th Miami run. A sacrifice fly, and the Marlins have taken a 7-3 lead. So Yelich is retired, but he'll pick up an RBI.
Off the left-handed bat of Yelich, this ball is slicing. He's got a bead on it, makes it look easy.
Giancarlo Stanton, a 2-hit day today, and he'll take a pitch high. Actually went around, according to home plate umpire Paul Emmel. Outside corner. Five for 13 series for Giancarlo Stanton. Home runs in each of the first 2 games.
Diaz went with like a little hesitation there with the step back and then into the kick position, kind of held it a little bit. Went a little Johnny Cueto.
Thought he might have had strike 3. That has been a strike for a lot of today. Diaz off the backside of the mound in the midst of a meeting with himself. Three-two pitch. And it's lined to center field. Third hit of the day for Giancarlo Stanton. All singles for Stan today, and he's aboard with 2 down here in the 9th inning. I'll bring up Marcell Ozuna. Walk, a strikeout, a double, and a strikeout for Ozuna.
Can you imagine having Giancarlo Stanton in a lineup and Aaron Judge in a lineup together?
A lot of long home runs.
Oh.
Ground ball kind of fought off, but Diaz able to make the running grab and flips underhanded to Myers to end the inning. A run, though, for the Marlins. They take a 7-3 lead to the bottom of the 9th. Padres have work to do, and they're going to be dealing with A.J. Ramos, who comes into this game as he did last night.
He is their closer, always working from the stretch. 3 saves on the year puts him at a total for his big league career 75 saves. Doing a fine job out of the chute. The walks are a little high, almost 1 per inning, but the strikeouts are there.
Hunter Renfroe is going to lead it off here for the Padres, trailing by 4 runs.
And it's interesting because his career for A.J. Ramos against the Padres, an ERA of 4.3.
Renfroe today, 1 for 3, 2-run shot back in the 4th inning for Renfroe. It's a fly ball to shallow center. Incoming Christian Yelich. Calling and catching out number 1 of the 9th inning. So 1 out. It'll bring up Luis Sardinez. Andrey Ramos, the 5th Marlins closer to have 40-plus save season. And the first to do it since 40 save season back in 2005 for Todd Jones. So it had been a while prior to last year. 1 out for Sardinez, who takes strike 1. Last year, Ramos named to his first All-Star team. Started last year with a streak of 24 consecutive converted saves. Foul the other way, and it's 0-2 to Luis. 0-for-3 in this one. He struck out a couple times, lined out. Sardinez getting the start at third base today for the Padres, and fractured the bat, so he has a new one with 1 down here in the 9th. Foul back to our left.
That ball's coming in hot.
How many baseballs have you had back here in this booth?
Since 2004, this particular booth, maybe 2.
That's it, huh?
Maybe 3. But I remember 2 in particular. It's got to be hit just right. It's got to be a high fastball to where the guy gets under it just enough to get enough loft. It's all physics, Don.
And we learned a lot about your science knowledge. The ground ball right side. Gordon will throw out Sardinez. 2 down.
It's all lift and carry. Drag.
It's up to Alan Córdoba coming up here with 2 down in the 9th inning. So far in this game, it's been all about 1 inning for the Marlins. 6 runs in the 6th inning. The Padres on top 3-0. Marlins would add another run in the 9th and enjoy a 7-3 lead with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Oh, with a big 3-run shot. Córdoba singled in the 2nd, grounded out to short in the 4th, and flied out to right in the 7th. Look out. Kind of a late reaction there. That one running up and in at 94 miles an hour. Oof. On the ground to third, diving is Prado, picks himself up, fires across in time for the out. That ends the ball game. Well, that's the way we have seen Martin Prado in this entire series. Some great defensive plays, and he finishes this game with this one. The Marlins win this one 7-3 and win the series. Mike Pomeranz, what's in store?
Well, Don, hope you guys have a safe flight off to Arizona with Tony I see on the post-game show. Luis Perdomo with an overall nice day. We'll tell you what was working for him, why he ran into trouble, and you'll hear from Andy Green, who was ejected in this one in moments.